Alright. Any guesses what might be happening here? Predation. Alright, now why is this, why would you not classify these lions as parasites? I mean, clearly they've caused harm to this and it's benefiting them. Why don't we call them, why are they predators rather than parasites?
Because the animal is killed.
The animal is killed. But that does happen with, just some parasites that they end up killing their host. Teresa?
The lions can survive after the wildebeest dies.
Right. They don't need the wildebeest to remain alive to live on them. And also, to the relative size of this, just by nomenclature, they think parasites is tiny little pests, and that's just generally how they're perceived in time of predation. You think, if not necessarily bigger, they're just able to take it down somehow and keep moving on to the next meal, and it's not an issue. Alright. So is there anything else other than predation that could be occurring here? Why? Alright. Why is it that both organisms are harmed in cases of competition? Yes.
Because they have to share the wildebeest with each other, so they don't get in as much as they would.
So they have to share it. So the big thing here is that there's limited resources. Right? So that's why, if there are unlimited resources, it wouldn't matter how good or bad you are at hunting, how efficiently you can digest something. It's just there. It's just, look, another dead wildebeest laying here on the ground for me. But that's obviously not the case in nature. There are limited resources. So even though they'll probably work together to take the wildebeest down, by the same token, they still now have to share the kill. And they don't just get to eat it entirely. Alright? And then, what's going on here? Is this just an artsy picture, or is something happening here? Is there some sort of interdependence? Well, what different organisms can we identify? Trees, okay. Now, there's undoubtedly parasites somewhere in this picture that we can't see because they're just in huge numbers everywhere, but you can't see that, so I'm not going to question you about that. So you see trees. Any other? What else is around? Any other visible organisms?
I see microbacteria in the soil.
You do. It's a better resolution than I thought. Alright. So, the microbacteria in the soil, how are they interacting with the trees?
I believe that their waste products provide nutrients for the trees.
Right. So if they're providing benefit, are they getting any benefit from the trees? Let's just
yes, because when the leaves fall down from the trees, they enrich the soil, which means the bacteria grow.
So, does that make this a case of predation, parasitism?
I think this would be mutualism.
Mutualism? Okay. So and I was right. The microbacteria down here with the trees, it is a mutualistic relationship. What if the bacteria benefited but had zero effect on the tree? What would that be then? So if one benefits, we looked at here, so it's not competition, and then one of them has no effect whatsoever, what would it fall under? Yes?
Commensalism?
Commensalism, right. Now, the bigger trees that we're not seeing through the forest here is, how are the trees interacting with other trees? Teresa?
Competing for resources.
Competing for resources. What resources might they be competing for?
Nutrients in the soil, sunlight.
Sunlight, right. That's what we're seeing over here, and the nutrients in the soil. Alright, so, but these are the same species, probably all from the same germline, so they're all right here, so this one's going to drop right there and kind of nutrient this one, and so on and so forth. Why would these organisms from the same species and essentially the same gene line compete with each other? Why might they be doing that?
So you need to let it.
Right, it's It's either I'm going to get mine and try to live, or I'm going to be nice and have conscious thought as a tree, which is a separate issue, and let my brother over here get more sunlight than me. But that's not the case. They want to get as much sunlight as they can and get as much, suck up as much water as they can. So they're not, even animals with brain and conscious thought aren't consciously trying to hurt or help them necessarily. They're just trying to help themselves, and whatever collateral damage or benefit happens, happens. They're not worried about what happens there. That's difficult to remember because as humans, we're thinking, oh, am I being courteous to this person? Am I harming them or that? But not the way you should think about animals. Alright?